Test one, two, test one, two, test, test.
Am I being recorded?
You're being recorded.
I'm being
You,
recorded.
you better come correct. I mean, I need top notch from you, buddy.
So I'm so sorry for being late. I decided to just do a live stream while you were busy, but then I went overtime. So
No, you're fine. You weren't late.
okay.
Yeah, I just told you to reach out to me in 30 minutes, just in case I was done. Because usually, my coaching slots are an hour.
Mm-hmm.
With that particular client, him and I only go about 30 minutes.
Okay. Cool. You're a busy man.
I'm a
lot of
busy
clients.
man.
You're a busy man making all this money.
All this big time cash.
When are you gonna start spending it on me?
Oh, here we go. There we go. Everybody got the hand out trying to get some money. I just sent you 40 big US. 40 large.
That's not a large.
Oh, okay, you turn into one of these high, what are they called?
Summer spirit.
High, these high maintenance women.
Show me the money.
Yeah, I see what this has turned into.
No. I'm not playing that game with you. I'm not one of those fucking gold digger women. But you wanted me to ask you the question. So, are you recording me? First of all, I want to just make sure. You know, you want to do these things for your marketing.
Yes, I am recording.
Okay.
I mean, and not that we got to do stuff. I'm just saying, just in case, because usually when we talk, like just talk. So the issue with us talking is you end up talking about all the stuff you want to record anyway, or all your questions. So I said, after you did that a long time ago, so I'm not going to miss any more of these opportunities.
Okay. So just from now on, record everything.
Yeah.
If it's me doing like a formal podcast, then I'll record.
Yeah, absolutely.
On my podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So you said to me that you.
Now,
feel
also,
that
if you want to record this, you can, for you.
Well, because it's impromptu, I don't know that it would really.
I'm just saying, might be good clips or footage or something you can use.
I don't even really want to.
Okay, just forget it. Just forget
You
it.
do the posting. Okay. It's just I just don't like all this technical stuff. Okay, so you said to me that you feel it's important for me to understand that men are attracted to women who are wealthy.
Yeah.
So why do I need to understand that?
Well, first of all, you saw the meme with the men, and they asked those 10 men the question, right? They said, if the woman has more money than you, are you guys okay with that? And they all cheered and said, hell yeah. So you saw that, right?
Did.
Right. And that's because men enjoy money. And we don't really care where it comes from. If my wife hits the lottery or she's making $1 million, why would I be upset about that? No. If you have money, it means that we together have a better lifestyle. That's why women want men with money. Because when men have money, the woman knows that means a better lifestyle for her and for them in the relationship. Will men think the same way? Right? I told you before, I feel like men who don't want women to have money, those are just like control freak type men. They want to control the woman, her behavior, those types of things. Her not having any freedom, all that kind of stuff. But most men on the planet, their woman or the woman they're going to be with or marry or whatever or date, they want that woman to have money. They want her to be rich as fuck. And that's because it means a better time and more enjoyment and better lifestyle for the both of them. So any woman who doesn't get that is just completely and totally out of touch.
Okay, I have some questions about that because first of all, I don't come across men saying out loud in public or on social media that I want a wealthy woman.
Well, yeah, men aren't going to talk that way because it's looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, women can barely say that. That's a new movement, like what, over the past 7 years, where women are coming out like and shouting to the world that they want a man with money and that they're not ashamed about it. You see what I'm saying? So no, men are not going to come out and just say that. It's still taboo in this culture. You know, women are still too sensitive about it. Women feel they're going to be used or whatever if they have money and the man doesn't. So no, men aren't going to shout that. Just like people don't talk about some of their sexual fetishes or whatever. Like, it's just not popular. But do men actually want that? 100%.
Hmm. Okay, all right. So let's talk about the women, because I know of a lot of women who they have like a good amount of money, and they're with a dark masculine man who has like no money or very little money, and they agree to take care of him financially, and eventually they get really fucking annoyed with him.
Right.
So if it's true that the man loves the woman with the money, then why do these relationships get fucked up?
Well, don't forget that these relationships get fucked up anyway. So it's not like, oh, if the woman doesn't have money and the man does, or they both are broke, that these relationships work out. No. These are fucked up relationships in general. You understand? So they're dysfunctional by nature. And the reason why is because the woman doesn't know how to maintain polarity with her dark masculine. She doesn't know how to manage that relationship, and she's not clear on why she's actually inside the relationship. She thinks it's like love and they're supposed to be married, and that's not what it is, right? So that's why the relationships go bad. What you're seeing a lot is what we see with a lot of women, which is when things go bad, they tend to start to blame the man, and then they start to identify different things about him. Oh, you've got no money, or you can't get erect anymore. Women will start to attack. They'll start to attack men in that way. They'll begin to verbally break him down. And so if she's got the money and he doesn't, then she's going to attack the fact that he doesn't have money. But really, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with, the relationship itself is dysfunctional. And the women know this because they know when they get into other relationships, those relationships also have the same issues or challenges, right? That those situations are also dysfunctional. No, the issue is that you don't know how to relate to a man. You understand? It's not that the dark masculine's broke and you have money. It's that you need to learn how to be inside of a relationship, right? And then women, they also need to understand, like, when you are the breadwinner, when you have the money, there's certain responsibilities that come along with that. Like, that can be a lonely road. You see what I'm saying? Like, men have carried that burden for centuries, where you're just not appreciated in a certain way, or you got to just bite the bullet on certain things. And a lot of women don't really know how to do that. A lot of women are very used to venting their frustrations and venting their anger and arguing and blaming and that kind of stuff. And men really haven't had that luxury to do that. We know that we got to go out and make money and come home and shut the fuck up about our troubles and our challenges and our pain for the most part, and just do what we got to do. We got to buy the stuff, pay the bills, give without seeking anything in return, all that kind of stuff. Like, we know we've got to do that for the most part. Women are brand new to that arena. Okay. They're still looking for acknowledgement, and they still want the gifts, and they still want the reciprocity and all those things. And no, if you're the breadwinner, then there's no financial reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to carry the weight, and you've got to smile while you're carrying that weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they don't want to smile, like, because the clients that I know that are carrying the weight, they become very verbally abusive to the man, and they rip him to shreds verbally, and it gets ugly.
Absolutely.
It gets real ugly.
Absolutely. And women have dealt with that too. A lot of times, we've heard women in abusive situations because the man has the money and they don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just when you have the money, there's a certain level of power that goes with that, and you have to learn to be the bigger person and accept the responsibilities that you took on. A lot of people, not just women, but men and women, are not really used to doing that. They're not at the maturity level. That's why a lot of men, when they want to make the money and control the woman, they have a hard time, like, not being overbearing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's something that a lot of women are learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the fear that women have that, this guy's going to use me. He's going to take advantage of me, and he's going to break my heart, and then I'm going to feel even worse because I spent like $50,000 on him, and he fucked me over. Like, how do women face that fear?
Yeah, well, it's a fear they have to face. I mean, he might use you. You know what I'm saying? It's very possible that he's going to use you for your money. But that's like anybody. It's not just him, it's all the people around you. They're going to want to use you for your money. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but it's just a thing. So if you have money, a lot of folks are going to look at you for what you can do for them financially. Same thing if you're beautiful. A lot of women want to hang around their beautiful friends because it makes them look good. You see what I'm saying? They're using her for her looks to increase their value and their stock and their brand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with famous people. You know, people want to hang around them because it makes them look good.
Yeah.
Gives them access to certain circles, give them access to certain networks,
Yeah.
gives them certain opportunities. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a real thing. And you know, as a woman with money, you've got to learn how to vet your people properly. And you also have to accept the fact that yes, a part of your appeal is the fact that you have money. And not just you have money, but also that you kind of have that hustle mentality. You know how to get out there and get after it, those types of things. Like that's a part of the attraction as well. So these women have to come to grips with that. You know, you can't live in the old paradigm where you just, you know, the man just loves you for your looks and your beauty and that's it. And your sex. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not what we're dealing with. No, these men are also acknowledging the complete and total you. And the complete and total you is the fact that you know how to make money.
Okay, because in your book, The 9 Expressions of Love,
Mm-hmm.
where you talk about the number 8, like the romantic love and or romantic desire, I can't remember, and number 2, I forget what you call number 2. Manifestation choice or money choice.
Yep.
And so you describe the man or the masculine person in the money choice as the one spending the money, but when you talk about the romance choice or romantic desire, I didn't see anywhere in the book where you talked about the woman having the money and being the wealthy one.
Well, a romantic desire is when a man wants to be with a woman who makes him look good. So her value is not money. Her value is her beauty. Her value is her grace. Her value is the fact that when she walks into a room, everybody looks at her, stares at her, wants to be with her, those types of things. So she brings a different kind of value. You see what I'm saying? So when a man has a romance desire, he's looking to be with a woman who is stereotypically, you know, drop dead gorgeous, or carries herself in that way. That's what he wants to experience. He wants all the men in that room to look at him and wish they were him in his place.
Yeah.
Like he wants to feel that. From a business standpoint, that means that he's going to be able to secure better contracts because these men are going to want to talk to him, see what it is about him that makes him special, that makes him powerful, that makes him chosen by a woman of this stature. You see what I'm saying? So that's why men want that. So it's not tied to money. It's tied to the other valuable things that are important in the dating world. In this case, it's beauty and grace and the way she carries herself, her magnetism, her attraction.
Because the thing is, Rakim, like a lot of women who have the money, like they want their dark masculine man to love them for their beauty and grace and not the money.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of men who will love them for their beauty and grace. You understand?
Okay.
Like, they're choosing men specifically who, you know, they might think the women are attractive or whatever, or think they're beautiful, but they're not blown away by their beauty. So we talked about this before,
Yeah.
which is, you know, women are choosing, and we all do this, but women are choosing men who are kind of like on this higher level than them. You see what I'm saying? Because they want to feel better about themselves. So they try to find like the highest possible caliber man they can find, and they want that man to be in love with them so they can feel better about who they are. So they can not feel insecure. They can feel that they're special and all those things. You see what I'm saying? And so when you choose a person like that, most of the times they're not going to be just blown away by your beauty. You know what I mean? Because they're used to dating women way more beautiful than you. That's just the reality of the situation. So if a woman really wanted a man to love her for her beauty, then she would choose those men. There are a ton of men who would look at her and see her as beautiful. and completely gorgeous and don't care anything about the money, just love how she looks. But she doesn't want those men. You know why? Because she's dealing with her insecurities. So she wants men who she considers to be a higher level than her to turn around, look at her, and validate who she is as a beautiful woman. And I think again, these men will find these women as attractive. They might find them as beautiful or whatever, but there's a certain delusion to feel that he's going to find her to be one of the most beautiful women that he's ever been with. That's just not going to be the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see how you understand this works? Like how these are all internal issues that these women have?
Yeah. They're seeking validation. I get it.
Absolutely.
And that's where a lot of women get messed up. Like, because I was saying on my live stream, like, you got to stop with the wounded little girl shit, because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to keep the relationship toxic and fucked up.
Absolutely.
And I told them, I'm speaking from experience. Like, when I relate with you from wounded little girl shit, like, we don't get along at all. So,
yep.
But when I relate to you from this, like, okay, like, forget the wounded little girl stuff and just, like, love and appreciate you for what you're bringing to the table to me, we get along perfectly. So
absolutely. And you can see how, like, the dark feminine path, like these women, they don't care about any of that stuff. They don't even care about the guy's looks or anything. They're like, is he able to activate me in the way I want him to activate me? Does he fuck me the way I want him to fuck me? Does he, show up the way I want him to show up? Like, that's their primary thing. So they're not caught up in the romantic fantasy because they're fully inside their dark feminine. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have those types of issues. They're not trying to get like a man who's considered a 10 or a model or whatever. That doesn't impress them at all. Like they're so self-assured. Like, to be a dark feminine woman, you've got to be self-assured. Like, you got to really know that you are the shit all by yourself. You see what I'm saying? You don't need anybody to validate you. You care less what these people are thinking or talking about. You're looking for specific types of masculine energy in your life. And she seeks that out. She gets it. She might get multiple of those or whatever, and then she moves about her life. So that's why those women are so powerful, because they're not caught up in seeking validation. Seeking validation, it takes you away from your ability to really live your best life and to have happiness and have fulfillment and have a drama-free life. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. That's most women, though. Most of the women that I've coached that are in a relationship with a dark masculine man, they are very much seeking validation.
Well, yeah, I talked before about how, in our culture, in Western culture, people, we don't have initiation into adulthood. And what that means is, people are still dealing with all these childhood emotions and childhood feelings and childhood insecurities. Like that's what happens when you're still a child in an adult's body. And that's a big thing with Western culture, is you have adults, right? Like, look at our president, you know what I'm saying, in America. Like, you have adults, so these are human beings in adult bodies, but they're very immature. Like, our president won't take any accountability for anything. Well, that's immaturity. He's a child. I mean, you can look at his aura and see that he's a child. You see what I'm saying? And so that's a lot of us. Because we were not initiated into adulthood, meaning out of childhood emotions and childhood perspectives and all those types of things, that we still suffer from those things. And we're still like little children. Treat me good, give me this, give me that. No, you're like still acting like little children. As opposed to acting like adults, saying, look, I need to find somebody who I love, who loves me, who we can partner together and we can go, do life together and build our lives together. And what's most important is, I want them to be attracted to me and me them, so that's true, but also the most important things are like the quality of their character and our values, that those things match and all those types of things. So because people are not initiated into adulthood, they can't always choose people in that way. That's why they end up choosing people who are narcissistic or abusive or whatever, because, well, you're kind of desperate to have a partner. And so therefore you're looking past the red flags. A dark feminine woman would never choose somebody. When she sees a red flag, like a real red flag, or it's not really even a red flag, like when she sees the person that's in line with her and her mission, she just moves on. Like, she's not, like, a lot of people, they ignore these things because they want this validation so bad. And this is men too. A lot of men, they want to be validated by these women, beautiful women, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they end up paying so much money. But the dark feminine, she doesn't get caught up in that. So she's never going to be in a situation where later on the guy shows up abusive or something. Because no, she saw it from day one. She didn't ignore what was right in front of her. You know what I'm saying?
This is, there's a lot of women that they choose a dark masculine man who is an alcoholic, or who is a heavy cigarette smoker, or who does cocaine, or is a weed head. And it's not an issue in the beginning, like they go ahead and they fuck him and all that. But then once they settle down and they move in together, and it just becomes crazy. It's just like they start arguing over the fact that he just keeps drinking and like, so like, what's your recommendation for women who choose, like, men who are addicts?
Well, I mean, again, these women are seeking validation. So again, just think about what you said. The guy's a drug user or an alcoholic, and that became clear immediately.
She knew, yes.
And you still chose to move forward with him.
Yes.
So that just shows that, okay, you were seeking validation so badly, you were willing to be with a drug user. Like, that's somebody who's like heavily into drugs, even if it's like socially, you're saying like that's a red flag. Period. I mean, drug use or heavy alcohol use is a red flag for like long-term committed relationship and family and getting things done and saving money and being accountable. You see what I'm saying? Like so anybody who chooses a man like that, those individuals are very heavy into seeking validation, and they're ignoring the red flags.
Oh, wow. And so what some women have said to me is that even though she knew he was an alcoholic or he was on drugs, like, he was really good at sex when he was high or under the influence of alcohol. So that's something new to me. Like, you've never been an alcoholic. I've never seen you do drugs, and sex with you is always amazing. But like, some women are saying, look, like, when he's on drugs, the sex is amazing. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's certain drugs that enhance your ability to have sex. Like heroin is one. So, but again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be with this man because the sex is amazing, especially when he's on drugs, then be with him for that reason. Don't be in a long-term committed relationship with him. Don't try to build family with him. Don't get into an exclusive situation with him. Like, that's madness.
Yeah.
Feel free to continue to have sex with him on the side. You know what I'm saying? And get those needs met. But why are you talking about a relationship? Like, that just shows how crazy the mindset is when you're seeking validation that badly. Or when you're not in your power as a dark feminine, because that means that this is the only man you can attract that can satisfy you that way. Like, that's a red flag too. Like, why can't you attract other men who can also please you and you can have great sex with? So if you can only find this one guy to have great sex with, then that's a red flag.
Yeah. I wouldn't even, me personally, I wouldn't want to be with an alcoholic, because I know alcohol, I don't feel that alcohol enhances the sex. I really don't. But some people say it does. I don't know, but it is affecting his health, like his erection. He's not able to sustain an erection.
Right.
And it's becoming a consistent problem, and she's getting pissed off because she's like, I don't understand, like, why is he not staying hard? And he's saying there's not enough blood flow to his penis and this and that. But I think it's the alcohol. Like, he drinks a lot.
Yeah, it could be the alcohol. I mean, what alcohol does, when people say alcohol enhances sex, one thing it does for men is it desensitizes the penis. So the feeling is, you don't feel as much. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so what happens is, a lot of times those men can last longer. Now, what happens is that it depends on the age and vitality of the man. Usually we're talking about younger men.
Yes, he's a younger guy.
Yeah, 18, 25, in your 20s, early 30s. These are men who can drink alcohol and still maintain a solid erection because they're younger.
Okay.
So their erection is going to be stronger anyway, so it can withstand an assault from alcohol use. But A lot of men, is when they get into their 30s and 40s, a lot of men, because their erections aren't as strong and they're not as vital, the alcohol is too strong and it makes them impotent.
Yeah.
Now the feeling is so masked that they can't even feel their penis, and they can't get erect.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's why it's a downer for a lot of men, especially as they get a little older.
I heard an interesting story from a money coach that I really like. I talk to you about her all the time. My name is Genevieve, and she was saying on her podcast that when she was dating her husband before they got married, he was a heavy cigarette smoker, and she didn't like that. She didn't like the smell of cigarettes. Like, she herself had quit smoking, and she just didn't even want to be around that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, like, she just decided, like, I'm not going to stay in relationship with a smoker. So either I'm going to leave him and I'm going to find somebody else, or he's going to change. And she said she didn't even talk to him about it. Like, it was just a decision within herself. Like, I'm not going to be in a relationship with a smoker. And she said within like 48 hours, he like voluntarily chose to quit smoking.
Mm.
Like, that's dark feminine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, that's an example of women using their power to change their environment. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was her intention, but that's what happened. And that's the difference between feminine energy versus masculine. So when women make that declaration within themselves, then they start to see the world change around them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dark feminine is not afraid to leave. She's not afraid to walk away if it's, if this isn't really what she wants, like, I'll just find somebody else.
Absolutely.
And women who are anxiously attached, they're not going to just find someone else. They're going to stay and just suffer through it and try to change him and just get more and more miserable.
That's exactly it. You nailed it. That's exactly what happens. That's why certain people stay, right? Why men and women stay. A lot of men are in abusive situations as well, where their wife is constantly talking down on them, their girlfriend, whatever, not giving them sex, making them feel bad, all these different types of things. You see what I'm saying? And they stay in a relationship because of their need for validation, or their inner insecurity, or inner lack of confidence, or their dependency on the finances, or whatever it might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness, there was something else I was going to say about that relationship dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have written it down because now I can't remember what it was. Okay, we talked about the impotence. We talked about the drug use. Okay. There's. I know you've seen this. There's a big push on social media, and I guess maybe outside of social media as well, for women to not have sex with a man unless he's spending money on them. I sent you another reel on that today, and like women are constantly being told this. Like, if he's not going to bring some money, like some serious money to you, he should not even be a consideration. And so, what are your thoughts on coaches who are telling women this?
Well, there's certain women that's, like, to me, that's just the job. Like, these women are working. You know what I mean? Like, there's different ways you can make money. You can make money by getting a job, or by, opening a business, or you can make money by getting it from a man or a woman, or, you see what I'm saying? So to me, this is just how they're seeking to improve their lifestyle. They're looking to make money through men.
Okay.
And, I think it's fine. I think there's men who are fine with that.
Yeah.
They're fine trading their money to be with a woman they consider to be beautiful or worth it or whatever.
Okay. I guess I don't resonate with it because, like, I want to be turned on by the man. I want to have sex that I enjoy, and like, that message just doesn't resonate with me. Like, I need, the dick has to be good.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of women who are like that. A lot of women who they have to be attracted to their man. They have to have good sex with him. They have to have a good connection with him. They have to have good communication. Like, some of those things, like, they need some of those things. They can't just be with somebody because he has money. The only woman who can be with somebody just because of money Again, these are women who are working. You see what I'm saying? Like they're prioritizing money above everything else. They don't need good sex. They don't need to be attracted to the man that they're with. They don't need any of the other kind of stuff. They don't want him to hold space for her emotions. They don't want to have any kind of deep intimacy or connection to him. They don't need those things. That's why I say these women are working. They're looking for ways to make money and sustain a particular kind of lifestyle. And like I said, it's perfectly fine. I don't have any issue with that.
Okay. There's a lot of dark masculine men who are non-monogamous or polyamorous, just like you. But I've also noticed, especially with my clients lately, is that there's also a lot of dark masculine men that once they get into a relationship, they become very insistent on the relationship being monogamous, like strictly monogamous. And like, what are your thoughts on? Like, what do you think about those men who are insisting on monogamy?
Well, these men are not insisting on monogamy. These men are insisting that the woman is monogamous with him. You see what I'm saying?
So they're agreeing to be monogamous too. They're agreeing, or so they're saying.
Yeah, but I think they're lying in most cases, right? They're cheating on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, again, there's different value things that people bring to the table, right? One is money. So if I'm a multimillionaire and a woman wants to be with me, then I can give her the terms and say, well, okay, well that means you got to be exclusive with me. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, but that's not the only value thing. Another value thing is I got amazing dick.
Yeah.
Amazing sex. And if you want access to the sex, then you need to agree to be exclusive with me. You see what I'm saying? So when people are in a power position, they tend to leverage that power. Again, it's not that that's the right thing to do, but I understand it's hard to not do that sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Like if I'm giving you the best sex of your life, you want to be with me, you want to be with me, you want to be with me. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be with any other men or whatever. It's going to be really hard for me to not abuse that power position I have with you. Especially when I don't see the value, the equal value coming back from you to me. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why these men are doing that because, and probably they're also doing it because these women are insisting that the men show up for them in a particular way. Like these women are bitching and complaining about what the men are doing and not doing. And so the men sometimes say, you know what, fuck it. You need to be exclusive and let me put some demands on you. That's one thing that a lot of these women are not saying. Like this, the dark master's making them be exclusive. No. What are you demanding from him as well? Sometimes the men get tired of these women complaining and putting stuff on them, and they turn that around and start to put the stuff on them, saying, no, you be exclusive and you stop doing this and you don't do that. So they get tired of, the one-way abuse, and they start abusing her in the same way she is him.
Oh, wow. That's deep. I have an interesting story to share with you. So I have one of my clients, she and her dark masculine man, they agreed to be strictly monogamous. Even though both of them were cheats and sleeping around before each other, they decided, okay, let's do monogamy because we can't handle the jealousy and the arguing and all of that. Let's just do monogamy. And I've got to skip over some things, but he had a really great relationship with his dog. And then the dog died. And he went into a severe depression for like months. And so even though she was spending a lot of time with him, she was saying like, I feel so drained because he's depressed all the time and this and that. He's just like, he can't function now that the dog is gone. And, so I was suggesting to her, well, let him, connect with other people because like you're getting drained and you connect with other people, but she didn't really want to do that. So anyways, the solution that they came up with is that they went to the animal shelter and they got him a new dog, a new puppy.
Okay.
Now that dog had been abused. So that dog has anxious attachment. And so now that he has this new dog, he won't leave the house for more than an hour. Because he doesn't want to upset the dog because the dog starts crying and carrying on. And so she's saying like she can't even, like anytime she wants to see him, she has to go to his house because he doesn't want to leave the dog. And now she's feeling jealous of the dog.
Yeah.
Because it's like he cares more about the dog than her.
So here's the thing. Anybody that owns an animal, I don't care what it is, anybody who owns an animal, that animal is an emotional support animal. I don't care. who it is or what kind of animal. I don't care if it's a fish, a bird, a cat, a dog, whatever. If you own a dog or a pet, that pet is a necessary emotional support and psychological support animal for you, without exception. There's no exception to that. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, based on that, yeah, like you can't just take an emotional support animal away from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's devastating for a lot of people. Man, go on. I mean, these are close relationships and connections, and people are emotionally dependent upon their pets, their dogs, their cats. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that it's not a negative thing. It's just what it is. You see what I'm saying? So, if he has a dog like that, and especially if they have that kind of relationship, then he's emotionally dependent upon the dog. So first of all, he needs to get psychological support because he's dealing with some inner trauma that he needs support with. Number two, yeah, he needed a replacement pet. I wouldn't have got him a rescue pet.
Yeah, because the pet is anxious.
Yeah, that I don't agree with that. Everybody's not built to have a rescue pet. Some people need a pet and get a fresh start, like a brand new from a brand new litter, and you get that puppy or whatever. Like a rescue pet means that you're rescuing, you're saving this animal from abuse or from a negative situation. A lot of these animals have been through it, bro.
Yeah.
Starvation, beating, severe neglect, dog fight, like all kinds. It's really, really bad. And so, yes, those animals do need special care. And now, obviously, they align with each other because he needs emotional support too. So the fact that dog binds to him in that way is he probably needs that. And she has to accept it. There's nothing that she can do about it. She's not as important to him as that dog is.
Oh my God.
I know it's hard to say, but again, you walked into a situation like that. Like that's an immediate thing. When I'm dating a woman, or when I first date a woman, I see she got a pet. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Like, how close are you to this pet? That's day one.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I ask that about everything. Your kids, your ex, how often do you talk to your mom? How often do you talk to your women say, yeah, I talk to my mom 2-3 times a day. Red flag.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. That doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, it's fine. But what I'm saying is, in terms of having a relationship with you, no, I'm not going to be able to be as close, to you as she is to you and you are to her. And there's some kind of codependency there. You see what I'm saying? So for me, that's a red flag. So you got to look at people's connections to other people and to pets and all this stuff and determine, like, okay, are you willing to be number two or number three? Even a distant two. Not only is she not as important to him as a dog, but she's a distant number two.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he does need some psychological support.
Yeah.
He's got some inner
not
pain
even the
going
first
on. You know what I'm saying?
that I've heard of like this, where the dog's more important than the woman.
Absolutely. But let's talk about that for a second.
Examples.
Let's talk about that before you go to your examples.
Okay.
Let's talk about how a lot of men become dark masculine.
Okay.
The way a lot of men become dark masculine is because they've had severe inner trauma as a child, especially around the feminine. You see what I'm saying? And so what they did was they learned to develop amazing sexual skills as a way to attach women to them so that the women never leave them and the women support them in a particular way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need to understand, like, when you're with a dark masculine man and like, man, this guy's amazing in bed and he is highly sought after. It's not just a coincidence that he's like that. Same thing with the men with money. There's a reason why he's seeking all this money.
Okay.
It's because he's looking to make up for the fact that he's got some kind of traumatic thing or some rejection factor with women.
Okay.
So he's getting all this money to make up for the fact that he doesn't have these other balanced masculine traits intact.
Okay. So you just opened a door. So I'm going to ask you some deep questions now, Rakim.
Okay.
I didn't think you were going to open that door.
Okay.
So a lot of women, they say these avoidant men, because that's the most common term. It's people don't say dark masculine in general. And this woman actually commented on your Facebook business page yesterday, and I took a screenshot, and what did I do with it? But she was saying basically what a lot of women are saying, which is that these avoidant men, they don't do the work. What they do is, as soon as like there's some sort of conflict or difficult emotion that they're experiencing with a woman, they just move on to the next woman and have sex with another woman instead of actually doing the work. So this is a common viewpoint. This is a viewpoint that's held by a lot of women, that avoidant men do not want to do the work. They just move from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, we talked about that before. That's true. So here's the truth in that situation: that the women are not doing the work, right? And the men are not doing the work. So you attract people who are your like vibration. So if a woman attracts a man and avoidant man, he's not doing the work, it's because she's also not doing the work. So remember what we talked about before. So how is she not doing the work? Does she love him for who he is? Does she accept him for who he is? Or does she only want to be with him because she's going to change him into the image of what she desires for herself? You see what I'm saying? So no, she's not doing the work. Why are you with this man if you don't love him for who he actually is right now, today? Not his potential, not for who he can be and all those types of things, but who he is today. Oh, because you don't want to do the work. What you want to do is try to change and mold him to be somebody that you're comfortable with. And the reason why you chose him is because he has some kind of value that he brings, great sex, whatever it might be, and you're addicted to that, and he serves your validation needs, and so you're just going to try to change him. You see what I'm saying? So yes, she doesn't want to change. And true, the men don't want to change either. The men, they want to go from person to person. They don't want to do the deep work, just like the woman doesn't want to do the deep work. So these people are always attracting the same types of individuals. It's never a situation where a woman is doing her work and the man she chooses is not doing his work. It's never that. It's always the two people are willing to do the same amount of work. That's a part of the vibrational match. And a part of the women not doing their work is not acknowledging that. Being in denial and not taking accountability. Like, you chose somebody who never showed they wanted to do any work. Never showed that they were about spiritual growth and development. They never displayed any of those characteristics, but you still chose them. And you know why you chose them? Because you're not about that life either.
Okay, well, this is where most women would disagree with you. They would say, no, I'm doing a ton of work. I'm in therapy. I'm reading all these books, like coaching, like everything. And you know this. You know women spend more money on coaching than men.
Well, women, no, that's not true. Women spend, let's get the accurate statistic. Women spend more money on self-help materials than men do. You understand? So there was a sister, she was on TikTok, she was talking about the difference between men and women in terms of their spiritual work and their self-development work. And she said women will consume a lot more content.
Okay, yes.
But they won't hold themselves accountable. So women will read an entire encyclopedia of information and never look at themselves and how they need to change and why it's their fault. But men, on the other hand, will read one pamphlet and they'll take complete and total accountability for themselves just from that one pamphlet. That's the difference that she was pointing out in terms of men and women doing the work. So no, it's not true. These are false narratives that are being put out there by women not doing the work. No, women consume the most self-help content, but they consume it just like you would consume entertainment. So for example, like a lot of these women influencers who are just blaming men. You see what I'm saying? And decentering men and divest from men and all that, all the victim bullshit. Well, that counts as self-help stuff. Those influencers count as self-help coaches and influencers. So women watching that content, in terms of the statistics, that counts as you doing self-help and doing your work. And then you read this influencer's books. Here's why men are wrong, and this is that. That counts as self-help. That's all bullshit. All you're doing is consuming content that just puts you further in victim. The same way certain men do who are part of the red pill movement. That's not self-help. Blaming women for why you don't have a wife and why you don't make more money and why you can't, you see what I'm saying? No, you're in victim mode. So a lot of things that people are calling doing the work and doing self-help is not actually doing the work. No, you're consuming more content, you're watching more videos, but tell me, in what ways are you holding yourself accountable? In what ways have you actually made significant changes that were uncomfortable, not changes that you're comfortable with? So for example, when you're in a victim mindset, right? You say, yeah, men are bad, so I'm not going to date men anymore. Well, that's not change. That's not positive change. That's toxic. So your idea of doing work is not communicating with the opposite sex, not trying to be better inside relationships, not trying to choose better, not trying to understand why you've always failed in relationships, why you don't show up sexually strong, et cetera, et cetera. Your idea of doing work is to just leave the whole situation alone entirely. That's not doing any work. That's what I'm talking about. Like what women are calling doing work inside of the self-help arena is not actually doing work. You're consuming content. I agree with you on that. You're consuming thousands of hours of content. That does nothing. There's this influencer, his name is Dan Penna. Have you heard of him?
No.
He's a super rich guy. He's a lot older. He's a business coach. And he says the same thing. He puts people into his program so they can become multimillionaires. And he always talks about how you all watching all this content and reading all these books. He said that doesn't do shit to change, the amount of money that you're going to earn. He said the only way you earn money is you got to break these bad habits. Get on the phone and start cold calling and cold call 2,000 people every single day until your fucking knuckles bleed. You see what I'm saying? That's work. You see what I'm saying? Like, come out of your comfort zone. Before I wasn't calling anybody and doing sales. Today I'm doing sales. Tomorrow I'm doing, you see what I'm saying? Before, as a woman, you were not communicating effectively. You were getting offended. You were trying to change the man. You weren't accepting him. You weren't loving him. Now you're trying to love him. Now you're trying to accept him. Now you're looking at why you chose a particular man that you chose. That's doing the work. Not this other bullshit that they're talking about. Consuming content's not doing work.
Well, okay, so to play devil's advocate, what they mean is that when there is a conflict, the women are saying, I'm willing to talk it through. Whereas the avoidant man, the dark masculine man, he doesn't want to talk it through.
Right, and the reason why is because a lot of these women are very abusive when it comes to verbal communication. Like Kenya always says, she's like, I'll talk circles around a man. And that's true. I've seen Kenya in a bunch of arguments and debates with men. Boyfriends, partners, you see what I'm saying? I've been in them with her. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't. Why would a man want to go back and forth with a woman who's just going to berate him and go just word salads and vomiting words at him? So yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're saying you want to talk it through, right? But no, you don't want to talk it through. You want another opportunity to verbally beat him down into taking your side of things and to doing things your way. That's not communication. That's not talking it through. That's how we created up level, so that each person could have equal opportunity to express themselves inside of a safe container. That's the tool you need to talk it through. But no, a lot of men are like, no, she's just going to be verbally abusive. She's going to demean me. She remembers more than I do about what happened. She's bringing up stuff from 5 years ago. And from, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's abuse. So that's why men don't want to talk it through. Because why? Because, the woman is defensive and she's insecure and she's on attack mode. So you're not communicating with me out of love. You're not really trying to solve the issue, because if it means you got to change, you don't want to do it. So no, I'm not trying to talk to you. So that's why men take that posture.
Okay, but you said earlier that it's true that a lot of avoidant men go from woman to woman to woman to woman to avoid doing the work.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, in that case, the women are right then. If they're saying that these men going from woman to, like, polyamory, basically. That's what the woman on your page was commenting on. She was actually, because you said something about polyamory, and I think it triggered her. She's like, oh, that's for people who are surface level and fragmented. They just go from person to person to person. So how do you know when a polyamorous man is actually doing the work and not just, sleeping around?
Well, that's a complicated thing. So let's talk about a few things. Number one, polyamory. Most of polyamory is about having sustained relations with multiple people. right? So the way you can tell it's polyamory and that the person is really kind of about what the poly life is about is you'll find them with multiple long-term partners,
Okay. Okay.
right? So that's number one. Number two, just because somebody wants to sleep around doesn't mean that that automatically means they're running from doing the work. Some folks don't want to be in a relationship with somebody. Just like some folks don't want to be married. Just like Shira Seven says, she's not going to get married again. You see what I'm saying? She doesn't want to be married again. A lot of people are like, been there, done that, fuck that bullshit. I just want to have authentic connection with a number of people where it feels right. That's fine. Just because people don't want to go deeper or be monogamous is what they're really saying. These people are really saying, these avoided people are saying, doesn't mean that you have an issue. Some people don't want all the toxicity that comes with monogamous relationships. Monogamous relationships are very toxic, man. People think they own you. Where have you been? You like the pic. This and it's insanity. It's almost like mental illness. So just because somebody doesn't want to be a part of that doesn't mean there's a problem with them. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of poly people, they prefer the lightness of relationships. They don't want to go deep because they've already done that. It's failed multiple times or whatever, and they just prefer to not go back to that toxic monogamous situation. So it's really person by person. If the man committed to go deeper and then ran away from that, then that's a sign. But if the man never said he wanted to get deep with you, and you decide you want to go deep with him just because the dick is good, that doesn't mean he's running away from you. He never said he wanted to go deep with you. He never said he wanted to marry you. That's your narrative you're trying to place upon him. That means you're toxic. That means you are not doing the work. That means you got issues. Does that make sense?
God, I never even looked at it that, because I never stopped to think, like, are these women actually telling the truth?
No.
He's shallow, he won't go deep, but they're not saying, well, did he actually say he wanted to go deep with you?
Never. Never.
Okay. Wow.
No, they're trying to put that on him, and when he says no, that's when they start, you're an avoidant, you don't want to go deep. He's like, what are you talking about? That was never our agreement. We were literally just fucking. And you fell in love with the dick, and now you want to go deep?
Oh my God. Okay.
And because I don't want to go deep, I got an issue? So a lot of these dark masculine men are like, what are you talking about? So that's why people that's why a lot of men, especially viable men who are looking for relationships, they don't really pay much attention to like these women talking about avoidant men and all that. Because that's a level of toxicity and mental illness that's a real problem. Again, you're just escaping accountability for why things are not working out for you.
So you said earlier that a lot of dark masculine men, they were traumatized as a child, just like dark feminine women.
Yep.
And so one of the ways that they cope with that is they developed amazing sexual skills in order to attach the women to them. So Is that true for you? Because you've been a dark masculine man to a lot of women.
I don't feel I've been a dark masculine to a lot of women, to be honest. I feel mostly women crown choose me because they see me as somebody very knowledgeable. They see me as somebody who's tantric, X, Y, and Z. Now, I do feel that I have developed a number of those skills, partly out of, really as part of my Bagua, my archetype. Me being I'm a conservationist spirit, which means I'm a dark masculine by nature. So, I've like me developing those skills is very important to me. And it's a way I kind of show my power as a man. You see what I'm saying? So
you're not doing it to get women hooked on you?
No, I am doing it as a show of my masculinity. So I have had a historic belief around my masculinity being tied to my effectiveness sexually as a man. So that's why a lot of women I choose, we talk about the desire paradigm. I have a number of women I've chosen historically. It's been a power desire. The power desire is to see myself show up very powerfully with a dark feminine woman to the point where she says, yeah, like Rakim, you're amazing in bed. You see what I'm saying? Like that has always been like a desire that I have and something I strive for. Like even at this point, like, as I'm getting older, whatever, like I still want to show up powerfully sexually. Like it's still hard for me to imagine not being sexually potent as a man.
Isn't that feeding your ego?
Absolutely, it's an ego thing. And it's not really even an ego thing. It's really more of an animal thing. right? Like animals want to feel dominant in the sexual arena. You see what I'm saying? So really it's more of a feminine thing, but just to go with what you're saying, sure, it's ego, it's animal, it's like feeding something that's not higher self. You see what I'm saying? And I embrace that about myself. Like that's one of my shadow sides that I embrace, that I know that I'm powerful sexually. And I fucking love being powerful sexually. You know what I'm saying?
But you like to be powerful sexually. So what distinguishes you from the men who are doing this to get women attached to them?
Well, again, let me just kind of go through the thing from the beginning, because you asked before, like, so do I have any traumas around the feminine? Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? Like I was rejected a lot as a younger boy, like middle school, early high school, that kind of thing. I experienced a lot of rejection. Even early in college, I experienced a lot of rejection. So that was traumatic, right? What that did was it kind of on a subconscious level kind of pushed me into becoming more and better from a masculine standpoint. Part of that's around my sexuality. You see what I'm saying? So I do want to acknowledge that, yeah, we all have these traumas that we're dealing with. We all have these things that push us in particular directions. So of course, I have some inner trauma as a man that kind of pushed me in a direction to become just amazing sexually. I also think that inner trauma caused me to grow my penis in such a way where I'm like super big. So I feel like that's like also like a psychological thing that affected me physically, right? Like I feel like I also tied my masculinity and my effectiveness as a man to like the size and girth of my penis. You see what I'm saying? So that is a thing, okay? In terms of what separates me from the other dark masculines, I'm willing to go deep with women. I'm willing to, like I said, we talked about this before, I'm willing to get married. I'm willing to have multiple long-term committed partnerships. I'm willing to build with women. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to do communication. I'm willing to up-level. Like, I don't know if you saw, but Kenya released a few up-level videos today. Yeah. Like, I'll sit down, we'll do the up-level. We'll up-level back and forth. I'll do the work. I'll challenge myself and my emotions. I'll take feedback from women, whether they're dark feminine or otherwise. So from my standpoint, I feel like I'm the kind of man who's willing to do the work. I'm not running from women. You and I have been together for a long time, back and forth, up and down. We could very easily not have been together for years, but somehow we managed to stick it out. Part of the reason why I'm sticking it out with you is because of me not running from the work. Doesn't mean I've always done it correctly. Doesn't mean I haven't not shown up in the ways I should have. But in terms of me actually still being with you today, it's part of my, to me, elevated masculine consciousness where I'm saying, you know what, let me continue to stay inside the situation and do the work and find the value in what Leslie brings to the table. You see what I'm saying? And I think I've been able to do that somewhat effectively over the years, even to this point now today, where I feel like you're an amazing interviewer and you bring certain things out of me. So I feel our relationship is more equitable. And that's why I told you a number of months ago, like, yeah, I'm definitely willing to come see you. You see what I'm saying? I don't need, there's nothing else I need to see from you, or, you don't got to pay me or any of those kind of things. Like, I'm willing to come see you just in terms of us being partners. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like that is what separates me. I'm not running away from that work. Again, I'm not saying I haven't failed at it before. I'm not saying I've done it effectively all the time, because I have not. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying my emotions and my conditions have not got the best of me, because they have. For months and for years, absolutely, off and on. But overall, no, I do the work.
Oh man, I get lost when you're talking.
That's why I tell you to write shit down, Leslie. You gotta write it all down.
Okay. So there was a woman that was on your Instagram, and she was saying that you're always talking about the work that the dark feminine needs to do on themselves. And she was like, well, why don't you ever talk about the men and the work that the men need to do? So what is your answer to that?
Well, I think you know the answer to that. The answer is that because Leslie only asked me about the dark feminine stuff. She's asking me questions, and I'm answering those questions. It's not like I'm picking the topic. You see what I'm saying? So,
okay, no. But a lot of women still want to know, like, what do these men need to do? Because it can't just be the women having to do the work.
Absolutely. And yeah, like I think I spoke on that a little bit already. But yeah, the men need to do the work as well. So again, a lot of the men have been hurt and damaged by women, starting with your mother. Okay. So again, let's say your mother was perfect. Okay. Even in a scenario like that, because you have a child mind and a child brain, you're still going to blame your mother for a lot of things that you felt that didn't feel good. So at the very least, you got to do some kind of rituals and initiations to get through that. Okay? Now, the reality is most mothers are somewhat abusive to their sons, right? In a number of different ways. Either they're verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, they don't nurture them as much as they need to be nurtured. They drive their father off, or they don't get a male role model in the house, or they allow the male role model to be abusive to the child, like whatever it might be. You see what I'm saying? So that's work that men need to do as well. You got to deal with all that hurt and pain that you're carrying from that situation. The other thing I've always said, which people never talk about, I said the other thing for a lot of men is you have to forgive your mother if you've been circumcised. A lot of the pain and abuse that we feel as children happens in utero and in the early stages of our life. One of the major things that a lot of boys go through is they get circumcised. People don't know what circumcision is. What it is there's the skin, what's called excessive skin around the penis is removed by just cutting. The issue is because you're an infant, your liver's not fully developed and you can't be given anesthesia. So you're being cut in a way without any pain medication, right? And so you have a lot of subconscious trauma around that as a boy, as an infant. And that carries in the background, okay? And it affects your life, and it affects how you feel about women. You're always going to blame your mother for that because she's your original protector. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of us as men need to let go of those traumas. We are also hurt by our older sister, or we're hurt by women who rejected us at a younger age, whether it's elementary school or middle school or high school. And that's traumatic for us. And sometimes men, they carry that hurt into their future relationships and interaction with other women. You see what I'm saying? So we have a lot of stuff we got to let go of. So yes, men have a ton of work to do. That's why I have a men's group. Like, people think I only deal with women, but no, I have a brotherhood. I have men that I work with on a regular basis. We met last night. You see what I'm saying? And we talked about the stuff that we go through. We go through stuff with women. We go through stuff with ourselves. We go through stuff with, trying to let go of hurt and pain and guilt and shame and all those things. Like, we do the work around that stuff. So that's the work that all men should be doing, right? And requires clearing and letting go and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
So you actually coach men that are dark masculine?
Absolutely. I just had a session with my dark masculine man today. The guy I told you, call me after we're done with him. He's a dark masculine.
Oh, okay.
Very, very powerful brother. Very, very powerful in terms of, he has a particular set of skills and modalities that he practices. Definitely a dark masculine, without a doubt.
Yeah, lately I've had a few dark masculine men come across my page, and they really love it because I don't think they're used to women being really honest with them. Because lately I've been talking about how women, we need to just admit that, you know what, he's polyamorous or non-monogamous or a man whore, and you love it. Like I admitted today on the live stream that a big part of my sexual attraction to you is that you've been with a lot of women and you're very sexually skilled. That's a turn on to me. I don't want you to be monogamous with me. I don't want you to be monogamous, period. I like that you have a lot of women. And I find that women aren't admitting that. They're still sleeping with man whores. They sleep with man whores every day. They sleep with men that they know are married. They sleep with men that they know don't have any money. They sleep with men that they know are drug addicts. But they don't want to just come out and admit that, you know what, yeah, he may be problematic in this area, or he's not traditional in this area, but I still love to suck his dick. I don't care. Women aren't saying that, Rakim.
I think that's hard for all people to admit. Here, let me tell you this, and tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is that we're more attracted to people when they are more sexually active. And not just with us, but just in general, right? We're drawn to people who are having a variety of sex with other people, but we won't admit that. And then when we get into a relationship with somebody, it's hard for us to really come to terms with that.
Yeah.
But the reality is, and I've experienced this firsthand, I've been with women who when I met them, they were more promiscuous or whatever, multiple partners, and then when they got with me as a way to keep me, they cut those people out. And that affected how I felt. I'm saying, they were not as attractive I was not as drawn to them when they were monogamous with me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people shouldn't be exclusive. Like, feel free to do that. But what I'm saying is, it is more attractive when, for women, for example, when you see a man and that man is getting a lot of attention from a lot of women, and he's having sex with a lot of women, like, you're going to be more drawn to him. Same thing with the men. If you're around a woman and she's like a dark feminine, very powerful, and she's having sex with a lot of men or multiple men, and very orgasmic and all that, you're going to be drawn to her. You know what I'm saying? Much more stronger than you are the virgin. The virgin attracts more of an intellectual thing. It's an ego thing. Like, oh, she hasn't been with anybody, and that makes me feel special, validated. You see what I'm saying? But no, in terms of like raw attraction, raw magnetism, no. You want somebody who's has frequent sex with other people.
Well, there's so many men, like including rappers like Charleston White and that black male influencer, The Truth Hurts, on Instagram, like where the way they talk as if the only type of woman they would want to be with is a virtuous woman, a woman who only wants to be with one man. Like they talk as if like that's their ideal woman, and then the hoes and the sluts, those are not women that you would take seriously. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like that's just the popular narrative. The way it works in a lot of men's minds is they are still focused on competing within their peer group. So they want to be with a woman and marry a woman who they can show their boys and feel good about her. And where the boys are impressed, yes, she looks good, and she hasn't had sex with my crew, anybody of my friends or anybody I know. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if she's had sex with my boys or whatever, then it kind of devalues her in the eyes of these men. You see what I'm saying? So again, I talked earlier about like men needing to be initiated out of their little boy stuff, their childish stuff. That's an example of it. Like, I shouldn't be intimidated by the fact that one of my friends or whatever has had sex with a woman that I'm in a relationship with. Like, why should I be intimidated by that? You see what I'm saying? Even if we're around in the same place together. So let's say I'm with one of my boys' ex-girlfriends. Me and this girl genuinely like each other and are dating. And, if we're all in the same space, it should still be cool. Like, that's just maturity. You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand what people are saying. They don't want to be in that situation. I get that. You see what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be like, a lot of people are like, there's so many men who have dismissed and lost true love because of some weird rule like that. Like, really, you should have been with this woman, but because she dated your boy before or liked your boy or whatever, you wouldn't date her. And guess what? You lost out, bro. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with women. Sometimes women have that rule. No, my girl used to date him. I'm not going to date him. And now that could have been your soulmate. So I just feel like we have these really silly rules that don't mean anything. There's no reason why you should not be able to date somebody who has slept with somebody that you know or your friend or whatever.
Wow. You don't think like the average man, Cam. You really don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully I don't, because, I teach this stuff and I'm coaching this stuff. So again, I understand the popular narrative. Don't forget, me and Kenya, our whole goal, our whole focus is to change the whole relationship dynamic, because we see it as dysfunctional.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at relationships today and families today, especially the black family, I mean, it is dysfunctional. And people are blaming like all this stuff. It's the culture of monogamy. It doesn't work. It's never worked. You see what I'm saying? And people don't want to admit that. I'm not saying don't be exclusive. I'm not saying don't be exclusive. You see what I'm saying? If you want to be that, especially for time periods or whatever. But understand the culture of monogamy is what's killing the dating market. It's what's killing the family situation. The way you all look, like that mentality you just mentioned. Oh, my wife had sex with my friend. You see what I'm saying? So I can't date her now. I got to divorce her now. Like that level of immaturity and silliness is killing our relationships and families.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in this Facebook group for Black women. It's like 30,000 women in there, and like there's so many of them complaining about just like the sex isn't good. And one woman, she was saying like her husband, he comes really quick, and like, she never gets to orgasm with him, and this and that. And she was asking for advice, and most of the women were telling her either leave him or cheat on him. Leave him or cheat on him.
None of them says an option for them to open their relationship or be polyamorous?
Absolutely not. They're not trying to hear about polyamory.
Yeah. Now, what, from your standpoint, why do you feel they're okay with cheating?
Well, she's not getting her needs met. You know, she's not getting to orgasm, and it's obviously his fault. So, you know, get your needs met.
But why is cheating okay?
It wasn't okay with all of the women, but it was okay with a lot.
Okay.
I don't know why I was actually surprised by that, because I thought that they were going to just say, well, leave him or learn how to be better at sex or whatever, but leave him or cheat. That did surprise me, because I know most of these women in the group, they don't want to be cheated on.
Right. That's my thing.
You know, so it was kind of odd.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They're okay cheating, but not being cheated on. And actually, I don't have any issue with the cheating thing. Because like I said before in the past, Leslie, I feel cheating is a part of monogamy. So it's a part of the culture. So again, we know we're not monogamous by nature. So if you enter a monogamous situation, then we know that there's a 50 to 60% chance that one or both of you are going to cheat, right? So to me, when people say they're monogamous, it means, no, you're still poly, but you're poly in secret, which is cheating. So when people say that, I understand what that means. I also don't have any judgment around it. I know that a lot of the people who are in relationships, they don't actually have true love for each other. So they can't go to their husband or their wife and say, look, I need to get better sex. You're not doing it. Either we open the relationship or be poly or be polygynous or polyandrous or whatever, or we get a divorce. So I know they can't come to each other with the truth.
Yeah.
And that's a part of monogamous culture. You can't tell your person the truth. That's why there's so many women inside that group. That's why she's talking to those women in the group and not her husband. You see what I'm saying? That's the perfect example of monogamous culture. So you'll tell these 30,000 women that he can't get it up or stay hard or that he comes too quick or whatever it is, but you can't talk to him about that. You guys can't troubleshoot that together as a couple. That is a perfect example of what monogamous culture is all about.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to have really good sex. Like, they just don't know. I'm not blaming them. You know, I didn't know. It took me a while to learn how to have good sex. And so people, they think, well, the issue is the person. It's the person that you're sleeping with, and that's why you're not enjoying it. But a lot of times it's because you don't have skills. You don't know how to actually have sex. You don't know how to have an orgasm.
Absolutely.
A lot of women still, like most women, and I saw another sex therapist just like 2 days ago, and she was saying the same fucking shit. She was saying that most women can't have a vaginal orgasm through vaginal intercourse. So men, make sure you perform oral sex on her or, stimulate her clitoris, because she's not going to have a vaginal orgasm.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of, teaching and talking to women about being more empowered inside their sexuality so they can have vaginal orgasms. You see what I'm saying? Or dealing with the hang-ups internally that these women are dealing with that prevent them from being able to let go and have a vaginal orgasm. Yeah. Just because somebody names themselves a sex therapist, doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I'm saying? If your mindset is still Western and still monogamous, culturally based, then you're still ill-equipped to really support people.
I agree with that. Because I was listening to Shan Boody on YouTube, and she's a sex expert.
I know exactly who she is.
What's that?
I know exactly who she is.
Yeah. She's a sex expert, and I was listening to her, and I was just like
self-proclaimed sex expert, not actually, and made a mess of her open situation where then she's like, well, no, I'm just gonna be with him. It's a mess. You're not empowered at all, and you're a bad representation of what it means to be an empowered woman. You see what I'm saying? And I still don't think she's married.
Okay.
I'm not sure. You can check it and see, but.
Okay. That's the thing. People are saying that the issue that women are facing is that men are concerned about body count. I don't know. I can't even remember the last time a man asked me about my body. That's not even a conversation. That's not even a thing for me. I personally have experienced more sexual shaming from women.
Absolutely.
And not because of body count, like just for if I go like I remember when I told you years ago when I went on in the friggin' Facebook group and I said to the women that I have 2 men. I didn't even say anything about sex. I just said I have 2 male partners, and the women fucking freaked out. Like they call me every name in the book.
Yeah, they're vicious.
It's like, oh my god.
They are vicious, bro.
So, like, you can't even as a woman say, you know what, I have 2 men, or I love a man even though he has no money, or I love a man and he's already married. Like, we can't even tell the truth about what actually turns us on.
Exactly. And that, to me, is monogamous culture. That's what monogamous culture does. It makes you feel so bad about who you are as a sexual being, you can't even talk about it. You will be judged and ridiculed, like you said, by women first.
Women first, yes.
Because men don't really care. I've tried to tell women this for years. Like, I know men talk shit online and men will say this and that, but at the end of the day, men don't give a fuck. They don't. They don't care. If they like you, they like you. If they love you, they love you, and that's it. They don't care. You could have been fucking walruses and elephants. They don't give a fuck what you've been doing.
But what I was saying to my audience today on my live stream, because a lot of these women that are in the relationship with the dark masculine man is they try to turn him into a support choice. They try to turn him into their king. They try to make it into a traditional, conventional type of relationship.
Yep.
And I have quite a few clients right now that, that's where they're at. Like they're living with him or they're spending a lot of time with him. They're talking on the phone every day, all of that. And as I said earlier in this call, like the sex stops being as good. And what I've noticed is that even though they say they want emotional availability and they want time together and they want all these things, like when the sex stops being good, these women are not happy.
Absolutely not.
They are pissed off. So that's what I came to realize. Like, you know what? Like, it is the sex. It is the sex that matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But they're not telling the truth. That is so frustrating.
Right, because monogamous culture doesn't allow you to be truthful about what you want sexually as a woman. Even as a man, but as a woman. You see what I'm saying? So these women, they just feel they have to lie about it. And they'll lie all the way to their grave. They will. They will not admit that, you know what, at the end of the day, I just want the fucking dick. I don't care what he does.
I don't care what he does.
I don't care what he does. I want the dick. I would like for him to be at home and to be good and pay money and pay bills. But at the end of the day, there's one thing I cannot have without. And that's the strong, lovemaking from my dark masculine.
I think like women don't want to sound like they're shallow, because if they admit that, you know what, the thing that I value the most about him is his big dick energy, like they think people will think that they're shallow, that they're surface, that they, that's all you want from him, like really.
Yeah, and that's a part of the women's empowerment movement, which is like you need to be able to say what it really is. So I understand these women are saying they've castigated men for so long for just wanting sex that now they can't even say it themselves. You see what I'm saying? It's like the Democratic Party. We accused the Republicans cheating in the last election. You see what I'm saying? We accused them so much of that we can't even, when they did cheat in this past one, we can't even say nothing about it, because it's like, well, you just accused them so much of it that now it looks kind of suspicious if you say it again. If you keep saying, yeah. So it's just like you just have to keep your mouth shut and let them steal the elections.
Or delay it.
Yeah, or delay it, or call a state of an emergency and just cancel it. You know what I'm saying? Just stupid shit. But no, they stole the last election. They tried to steal the one before that. And that's the truth of the matter.
American politics is like a soap opera. Like, it's addictive. Like, I literally, I'm up until 1 a.m.
It's literally entertainment.
No, I mean, and in some ways it's horrific, it's sad, it's brutal. Like,
oh, absolutely.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But it's so entertaining. Like, fuck. Like, this shit is hypnotic. Like I spent hours and hours and hours just looking at this stuff with Donald Trump and the war. Like, it's just Leslie, come on, enough. Stop looking at it. But it's so it hooks you.
Well, he is an entertainer. So I mean, we literally have a reality TV show host as the president. Like, literally. He's been in movies. I mean, this is a literal entertainer as the president. Yep.
Like when I watch these political podcasters, like they just crack me up because all they do is diss each other
Yeah.
like, all day long, every day.
Yeah, it's just a constant. It's like sports. It's a constant battles. Yeah, it's hilarious.
It is. It is. I had one more question. I'm trying to remember what it is. Okay, so what do you think about like? Because I avoided this for a long time. This is my last question.
Okay.
I avoided telling the truth because I was like, oh, I you know, in my marketing, I got to cater to their ego, and the women want to hear about monogamy and this and that, blah blah blah. And so I tried my best to cater to that, but like I just like I got to a point in my life where I just can't do it anymore because. Like I said, when I see women get the monogamy and they live together and all the things, like all the structural things are in place where they have a support choice relationship, and then they're still complaining to me that they're not having sex anymore, or the sex isn't good, or his penis doesn't work. Like, I can't cater to bullshit anymore. I
Yeah.
just can't cater to it. So I'm just like, look, I understand that what you want is the dick, and you want it to be good forever. And the way for it to be good forever is you have to actually love him as a dark masculine man.
Absolutely.
Like, for real. Like, stop trying to change him into your king. Okay? Let him be a man whore. Let him stay married to his wife. Let him keep drinking alcohol. But don't try to change him, and don't live with him.
Absolutely.
I know it's not an unpopular thing to say on social media, but it's if you want the dick to be amazing, that is the way.
And you know what I got to say about that?
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of women historically who've understood that, and they actually live that. So, for example, there's been women and they've been in love with their dark masculine, and he was already married with kids and a family,
Okay.
and they just stayed in their place, and they, as the mistress or a separate family that he would come and see on certain weekends or whatever, you see what I'm saying? And they maintained amazing sex for 30, 40, 50 years, and you know, amazing polarity and all the things. And when the women were asked about it, they're like, I don't need to see him every day. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see this motherfucker every day. And see, those women got it, but those women were castigated in our society.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's why they had to lay low and not really talk a lot about their lifestyle. But I just want you to know, and your listeners to know, if you next time we talk about this, is a lot of women do get it, but they're not going to be the ones online talking about it. The ones online talking about are the victim women and the women with no power and the ones who have not figured it out. You understand? The women who figured it out, no, they're fucking their dark masculine on a regular basis, and they're happy, and they have a separate house together. I knew it. I used to date a sister like that. Her and her dark masculine before her and I started dating. Like, she was married, okay. Her and her dark masculine, they got their own separate apartment.
Wow.
And they would just meet up when they met up. They would do business together, all kinds of stuff. And they had a great relationship. Eventually it ended, I forget why.
Okay.
But yeah, they loved each other.
Yeah, I think that's the best way because, like, I said to my audience, like, you're not supposed to be together all the time. You're supposed to, like, be away from each other more than you are together. Like, for the dark feminine, dark masculine, not for the other parents.
Yep.
But for dark feminine, dark masculine, it's like, you know, you're away from each other, I don't know, 75% of the time, and you're doing your thing, and, you know, maybe you're seeing other people or whatever it is. And then you come together for like a weekend or a week or whatever, and you have amazing hot sex, and you know, you do your magic and whatever, and then you go your separate ways.
Yeah.
And then you come together again. And I mean, that's what I want to have with you. Like, I would like to see you like once a month, like every 4 weeks, every 5 weeks, every 6 weeks, where we just have marathon sex and then we go our separate ways. Like, that's what I want to have with you.
And look, don't forget with the dark masculine situation, these women also have a good time with them too. So it's not just the sex, it's like they be laughing and joking and they be going, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not just a one-dimensional thing. Like, as you know women who are with a dark masculine and they have other parts of the relationship that's great. They like do things together and go out to eat and you see what I'm saying? Like, they have fun. It's not just the sex. So it's like if you can containerize your interaction with the dark masculine where it's not too extreme, then the whole situation will be great. Not just the sex, but the conversation and everything.
Yeah, that's true. Because like even when like I'm not physically with you, because people think, well, that's so weird. You're not physically with Rakim. How are you guys in a relationship? But like our conversations are always amazing. You know, we communicate regularly. We get along perfectly. Like I really don't have any complaints about you. Like I even said to your wife, like.
What'd you say, Leslie? What'd you
I started
say?
doing because she was encouraging me, because like I would message her like all these positive things, like, oh my God, Rakim did this and Rakim said this and he sent me this message, and she's like, oh, you're doing a happy vent. And I was like, what? A happy vent?
A happy vent. Kenya's so hilarious.
Every time I do that to her, she tells me like go into the Pantheon group, Kajabi, and share the happy vent. Don't send it to me. Put it in the group.
Yeah. That is hilarious.
I've been writing happy vents about you, Rakim.
Oh, that's
and how
great.
wonderful you are. So I don't have any complaints. You're a great guy. You're amazing. You treat me so good. Our communication is excellent. Like I have no complaints about the only complaint is that I want to see you and have sex with you. Like we need to get that fixed. But in terms of communication and business and whatever, like you're fantastic.
That's great.
Amazing, wonderful. Like I brag to your wife all the time about you, and the monarch butterfly women about you.
That is hilarious. Happy vent. Oh, it's a happy vent.
It's weird. It's weird because like this, I feel like this is how my lover faculty is coming out. Is that like I'm just gushing over you all the time. Like I just. Rakim is so wonderful. Rakim initiated contact with me. Rakim did this. Rakim, I'm gushing all the time, and that's my lover. That's how she is. She just fucking loves you. She just thinks you're amazing.
Well, it is lover season.
What's that?
I said it is lover season.
Yeah. But it feels weird though, because like at first when Kenya told me to do the happy vent, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna look so stupid and whatever. But because like people are used to me giving like negative emotion vents. So for me to do like happy vent, like that was like, what is she asking me to do? But that's how I feel. Like I'm happy with you.
That is great. I'm glad to hear that.
Like I feel like you initiating contact with me, like that's huge. Like even though most of the stuff you said me is like silly reels, like it's just like I'm so in love with you, Rakim. Like it's just crazy. Like I'm not even making sense.
You're making no sense right now.
No sense at all. But I'm just so happy. Like you're just like I'm agreeing with your point that it's not just fucking, although the fucking is important.
Yes, absolutely.
It's your big dick energy. Like you make me feel so good. Like I'm so happy with you. But you know, it's also me. Like I did the growth. Like I had to stop with the jealousy and the comparisonitis and stalking your girlfriends and you know, I had to stop with that bullshit and trying to get you to cater to my ego and all that fucking shit and just fucking love you, which is what you've been telling me to do for years. Like just fucking love you.
Absolutely.
And when I just allow myself to just love you, we get along perfectly.
I like that. You should write a book about it. About your journey.
I'm good at writing books.
You can do it.
I'm gonna write a book.
You can do it, Leslie. You can do it. This would be that'd be a huge book, a little pamphlet, and you can give it away for free on your site for people who give you their email.
Oh, an ebook.
Yeah, like an ebook.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I loved your up level video. It was really good.
It was
The
good?
one you did with your wife. The second one.
Second
the
one's
first
good?
one was kind of weird because you were kind of robotic and cold.
Yeah.
But the second one that you did was really good. Amazing. Fantastic.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. So thank you,
All
thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, good talking to you.
Okay.
All right, bye.